You know, most of us treat happiness like some kind of emotional reward, right? Like it's something we have to earn after a grueling day of productivity, or when we finally get that validation we've been wanting, or just when the stars magically align. But the source material we're digging into today absolutely shatters this myth with a pretty stark biological reality. Ready for it? Your brain does not chase joy, it chases safety. I mean, let that biological reality sink in for a second. We've been looking at our own motivations completely backwards. Understanding this one simple fact is absolutely crucial. It is literally the key to transforming your daily experience.
So, welcome to this explainer. I am incredibly pumped to take you through today's material because it presents a massive, real game changer of a paradigm shift. We're stepping completely away from that exhausting, frustrating pursuit of fleeting emotions, and we're diving straight into actionable neurobiology. We are looking at the biological formula for happiness. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our agenda for the explainer. First, we'll cover the happiness paradigm shift. Second, recalibrating your threat forecast. Third, reducing cognitive brain friction. Fourth, the social meaning hack. And finally, generating your state. These are the 5 precise biological levers we're going to pull today to optimize our brain's prediction models.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the happiness paradigm shift, moving from reward to biology.
It's time to directly attack that exhausting view of positive thinking society has always pushed on us. Notice the stark contrast here. The old worldview basically tells us that happiness is a conditional reward. You only get it if you're productive enough or liked enough. But biologically speaking, happiness is simply a regulated nervous system paired with an optimized prediction model. That's it. It is not about earning a gold star, it is all about biological efficiency. When your brain conserves energy and actually feels secure, positive emotion naturally emerges as a byproduct. We aren't going to chase happiness anymore. Instead, we're going to learn from this research how to manipulate the actual systems that generate it.
Which brings us to Section 2, recalibrating your threat forecast, hacking the brain's simulation. We need to look closely at exactly how your mind and body process safety signals. Let's break down this threat cascade. Your brain basically runs on predictive coding, meaning it's constantly generating simulations about what's going to happen next. It's always asking, is this safe? Is this a costly move? Is there a social risk here? And when uncertainty pops up, your brain overestimates threat by default. It's literally like a hyperactive smoke detector that goes off just because you're making toast. Look at how this cascade flows. The brain predicts a threat, your amygdala activates, cortisol spikes, your muscle tension increases, and boom, your happiness instantly drops. But here is the absolute vital takeaway. Your happiness didn't drop because something bad actually happened. It dropped because your brain predicted something bad might happen. Just a simple bad guess about the future completely ruins your current physiological state.
So how do we stop that cascade? Well, the sources highlight a really powerful internal labeling shift. Next time you feel stressed, say this to yourself. This is a high-cost prediction model activating. I know it sounds clinical, but when you catch your mind spiraling, using this exact objective language actually recruits your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for executive regulation. By naming it this way, your top-down control goes up and your limbic activation goes down, your amygdala actually quiets down. You're not just suppressing an emotion, you are actively updating your brain's forecast so the nervous system can stabilize.
And this brilliantly illustrates the concept of interoception. You see, emotion is not just some passing thought, it is interpreted physiology. Interoception is basically your brain reading your internal physiological signals to construct emotional states. We're talking heart rate, breath rhythm, muscle tone. Have you ever drank way too much coffee and suddenly felt incredibly anxious about a completely normal email? Yeah, that's interoception. Your brain felt your racing heart and just assumed you were in mortal danger. If you have shallow breathing, your brain predicts stress. But if you have a long, slow exhale, your brain predicts safety. Basically, your body is talking and your brain is listening.
The research actually translates this into a very specific protocol. Step 1, inhale for 4 seconds. Step 2, exhale for 6 to 8 seconds. Step 3, repeat 5 times. Notice how much longer the exhale is. That is absolutely crucial. That longer exhale directly stimulates your vagus nerve. It increases your parasympathetic tone, your rest and digest mode, while decreasing your sympathetic arousal. Within literally 60 to 90 seconds of doing this, your cortisol physically begins to drop. This isn't just a cute positive mindset trick, this is direct biological signaling. Happiness doesn't require positive thinking. It requires physiological permission.
Let's move right along to Section 3, reducing cognitive brain friction, clearing the mind's RAM.
We're going to group our next set of levers together to see how open loops and rumination actually simulate biological danger. Your brain absolutely hates unfinished patterns. Think about the micro loops eating up your working memory every single day. Unanswered text messages, unfinished tasks, delayed decisions, and yeah, those 85 open browser tabs you swear you're going to read later. They seem mundane, right? But every single one creates background stress. They overload your prefrontal cortex, increase cognitive fatigue, and drag your mood down. The solution isn't some massive, exhausting productivity overhaul. It's micro-completion. Just close one loop right now. Send the text, write the first sentence, close a tab. Closing that loop releases dopamine. And dopamine isn't just pleasure, it's motivational momentum chemistry. Because stagnation feels dangerous to the brain, progress feels safe, and that safety instantly boosts positive emotion.
Then we have the DMN, or the default mode network. This is the brain network that becomes highly active during self-evaluation, comparison, and rumination. It's the network that fires up when you're lying awake, intensely imagining how other people perceive you. Now, it's useful for forming your identity, sure, but when the DMN gets overactive, it severely increases anxiety. Low mood is intensely magnified when this self-referential processing is dominating your brain. It's just constant background emotional weight.
So, how on earth do we shut off an overactive DMN? Well, the sources suggest using a high-resolution sensory awareness hack to instantly interrupt it. It's super simple. Name 5 things you see right now, 4 things you hear, and 3 physical sensations you are currently feeling. Doing this instantly interrupts the DMN and shifts your brain into task-positive networks. When you turn down the volume on that constant internal self-narration, the emotional weight just vanishes. Why? Because most of our suffering isn't in the event itself, it's in our commentary about the event. Silence inside the mind feels like relief. Relief feels like space. And space feels like happiness.
Let's pivot to Section 4, the social meaning hack, contribution over protection.
This is our final biological hack, and it taps right into our brain's deep evolutionary wiring for relevance and belonging. So, the crucial point is understanding the profound difference between pleasure and meaning. Pleasure is sensory, it's short-term, and it's highly self-focused. Meaning is structural. It regulates your mood instantly and expands your identity. Because our brains are deeply social, they are constantly tracking our relevance to the group. When you contribute, even in a tiny way, like sending a supportive message to a friend or expressing genuine appreciation, your oxytocin spikes and your dopamine subtly rises. Meaning regulates your mood way faster than pleasure ever could. Small contributions pull your brain out of survival mode and into expansion mode, which heavily reduces your anxiety.
Which brings us to our final section, generating your state, the elite difference.
Let's synthesize all these scientific mechanics into an empowering new identity for you. It all boils down to this. Happiness is not chased. It emerges when threat perception decreases and physiology stabilizes. That is the core thesis of this explainer. Emotionally intelligent individuals, the elite operators of their own nervous systems, they don't wait for their mood to magically align. They intervene at the system level repeatedly and calmly. Remember, your brain isn't broken when you feel low. It's just forecasting, scanning, and trying to protect you. You don't need better life circumstances to feel better. You just need better system regulation. You have the power to adjust the variables.
And I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to take away from our explainer today. If you can shift your biological state on command, what will you build next? Think about the sheer power of having that level of control over your own prediction models. You can stop chasing happiness because you finally know how to generate it. Thanks for diving into this fascinating material with me today, and I will see you next time.